Washington Post reporting at this hour, the special counsel Robert Mueller told President Trump's attorney the president is not a criminal target. But of course, that witch hunt continues. Also, President Trump is taking bold action and saying the U.S. military will guard the southern border until that wall is built. Now, this comes, of course, as a caravan of more than 1,000 asylum seekers and migrants are traveling through Mexico to America. And tonight, there are reports that has now been stalled. Also, breaking news from Sarah Carter. Now, text messages from the corrupt Trump-hating FBI lovebirds, Peter Strzok and Lisa Page, show that the FBI appears to have improperly coordinated with the DOJ to expedite the FISA warrant to spy on Trump campaign associate Carter Page. And also breaking, a new memo is now showing that Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, in fact, allowed Robert Mueller to go way beyond his mandate to investigate Paul Manafort. Now, this includes using the phony Clinton bought and paid for dossier to go after the former Trump campaign chairman, and also breaking a brand new poll showing 67% of you, the American people, want a special counsel to be appointed to investigate the severe FISA abuses against the Trump campaign, and 77% of Americans see fake news for what it is. Now, this, of course, after the Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, appointed a Utah prosecutor to do essentially a lot of the same things. We'll explain all that. Plus, I have a special message for the destroyed Trump media, once again trying to twist and distort my words in their latest attempt to smear, slander, besmirch me. And that's all happening in tonight's breaking news opening monologue. All right, breaking tonight, just moments ago, the Washington Post reported Robert Mueller has informed President Trump's lawyers that the president, well, still the witch hunt continues. However, he is not currently a criminal target. This is important news. The Post is also reporting Mueller is, quote, preparing to report about the president's actions while in office and potential obstruction of justice. Now, we're going to analyze this new development in a minute. But first, we also have the president refusing to back away from his promise to secure America's borders. Now, here's the current situation. Congress has repeatedly failed to pass tough immigration laws, and people are flooding into our country. Democrats, they have been obstructing every single step of the way. They're not interested in solving problems. They're not even interested in helping DACA recipients because they want to make this a big campaign issue in 2018 this year. And according to reports, that caravan of more than 1,000 asylum seekers and immigrants heading for the United States has now reportedly stalled out in Mexico. This comes after the president said he pressured Mexico to do so. Watch this.
I have just heard that the caravan coming up from Honduras is broken up, and Mexico did that. And they did it because, frankly, I said, you really have to do it. We're going to have a relationship on NAFTA. We're going to have to include security in NAFTA. So Mexico, very strong laws, and that's the way it is. So it looks like it's been broken up.
Now, the president also tonight signaling that he is done playing games when it comes to our border security. He is now saying he will use the U.S. military to help secure the border. Let's take a look.
So I told Mexico, and I respect what they did, I said, look, your laws are very powerful. Your laws are very strong. We have very bad laws for our border. And we are going to be doing some things. I've been speaking with General Mattis. We're going to be doing things militarily. Until we can have a wall and proper security, we're going to be guarding our border with the military. That's a big step. We really haven't done that before, or certainly not very much before.
Now, think about this. All the drug trafficking, human trafficking, and, of course, the possibility that terrorists, too, can cross that border. This is a major national security issue, and there's a reason why Mexico all of a sudden now appears at the last minute willing to cooperate with the Trump administration to stop the caravan. Now, that's because President Trump is applying a tremendous amount of pressure, just like he did with little rocket man Kim Jong-un. Now, President Trump is telling Mexico, if they don't act, NAFTA negotiations will be in jeopardy. And he also threatened to pull foreign aid from Honduras, where many of these migrants are coming from. Now, it's about time an American president stood up for our country's sovereignty. And because the media and the left loves to distort conservative positions on this, let me be clear. There's nothing wrong with people coming to the United States of America. We're just asking it be done legally. We are a constitutional republic. We have laws. Those laws need to be obeyed. You can't have a country when illegal immigrants, non-citizens, can enter as they please. And guess what? That's what the president is now trying to do here. And by the way, enough is kind of enough when it comes to Mexico and people like their former president, Vicente Fox. He's lecturing us about how we deal with illegal immigration. Yet under Vicente Fox, Mexico sharply increased their police, their military presence at their own southern border, and they spend millions of dollars upgrading security checkpoints. As a result, from 2002 to 2006, detentions, deportations increased by 74% in Mexico. This is ridiculous, beyond hypocritical for Mexico to constantly be lecturing the United States regarding immigration laws when they are far tougher than we've ever been. And for sending military personnel to secure the borders, well, liberals and the media are so outraged that President Trump would dare to do that. Here's the thing. They're completely silent, of course, when President Obama did that exact thing back in 2010. Back then, Obama sent 1,200 National Guard troops to the border to help Border Patrol agents. And remember, in 2014, former Texas Governor Rick Perry, he called up the National Guard to protect the border because the Obama administration wasn't doing enough. So it's not like this is unprecedented. Here's another point the liberal media will never tell you. They were so quick to criticize President Trump for saying that he wants to use part of the military's budget to build the border wall. It's a national security issue. Now, according to a 2009 Congressional Research Service report, the military has already been used to help construct the border wall by past presidents, including George W. Bush and even Barack Obama. Now, those are facts. The media will never tell you any of this because it doesn't fit their anti-Trump agenda. And according to a new survey, 89% of Border Patrol agents say a wall system in strategic locations is necessary to secure the border. Well, that's coming directly from the people on the ground there every day risking their lives. Why not give them what they're asking for? And what President Trump is calling for is security and accountability. It is that simple. And for the record, this position is similar to the one that Barack Hussein Obama once held. You may remember him saying this.
Those who enter our country illegally and those who employ them disrespect the rule of law. And because we live in an age where terrorists are challenging our borders, we cannot allow people to pour into the U.S. undetected, undocumented, and unchecked.
Wow, he sounds like Donald Trump. Now, Obama only changed his stance when it became politically expedient. And as for President Trump, according to the Wall Street Journal, the Trump administration will put quotas in place and start evaluating immigration judges on the number of cases that they hear in order to speed up and expedite potential deportations of illegal immigrants. Now, remember, someone gets caught entering America illegally, they're actually allowed to stay here until they get to their court date, and about 98% of them never show up. So it's the height of ignorance and stupidity, and that's why President Trump wants to change it. Now, other countries, for example, let's look at Australia. They don't roll out the red carpet for illegal immigrants like we do. Now, when Australia catches asylum seekers trying to enter their country, well, they're very compassionate. They give them food, they give them water, they give them medical attention if they need it. And then they send the migrants back to from where they came. It's beyond past time. America used the same common sense measures to secure our borders. All right, also brand new tonight, another major report. Sarah Carter, who will join us in a few minutes. Here's the headline. Bombshell, secret texts show FBI, DOJ may have rushed anti-Trump FISA warrant. And according to Sarah Carter, congressional investigators have now discovered new text messages between anti-Trump FBI agents, lovebirds Peter Strzok and Lisa Page, that show possible coordination between the FBI and the DOJ to get a FISA warrant to spy on the Trump campaign associate, Carter Page. In one of the text messages Sarah has obtained, Strzok is whining and complaining to Page that a warrant in the Russia investigation is being held up. And one of the congressional investigators is now telling Sarah tonight, quote, everything here from the text complaining about FISA delays to the exchanges indicating coordination to the White House visitors log, well, it seems to match to a disturbing degree. At best, it's a strange coincidence worth investigating. Now, but of course, it's much likely more. So you have the FBI using an unverified Clinton bought and paid for dossier as part of a FISA application. They then rushed to get a FISA warrant approved, and new evidence points to coordination between the Obama White House, the FBI, the DOJ, and the CIA. Sarah will explain all of this in a few minutes. Now, also tonight, Robert Mueller secures his first conviction. Got to give him a lot of credit in his witch hunt. A Dutch lawyer was just sentenced to 30 days in jail. 30 whole days, and is being ordered to pay a $20,000 fine for lying to the FBI. That's it? And it had nothing to do with Russia collusion. The media played this up. They thought this guy was getting 20 years. In reality, it looks like a giant waste of your money. Now, while the media was hyper-focused on this apparent Dutch lawyer and this travesty, they missed a massive story that proves Robert Mueller is carrying out a witch hunt that is being aided and abetted by his buddy, the Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein. And according to an August memo written by Rosenstein, he actually authorized Mueller to go after Paul Manafort's work with the Ukrainian government, which happened way, way before Manafort ever had anything to do with Donald Trump and the Trump campaign. Now, in addition to that, none of the charges Manafort is facing have anything to do with any of that. And, of course, that's only half the story. Washington Times reporting that Mueller investigated Paul Manafort on an allegation from the never corroborated, now known to be lies, that Clinton bought and paid for dossier that came from an unnamed Russian source and sources. It's pretty shocking, but it shouldn't come as a surprise. The special counsel Mueller is corrupt as they come. He doesn't seem to care about truth, doesn't care about facts, doesn't care about evidence. He doesn't care about being fair, doesn't care that he's biased. Look at the team he has assembled, a team of Democratic donors that donated to Hillary, Obama, the DNC. And we can't ignore that Rod Rosenstein, well, he's the guy that appointed Mueller. Rosenstein is giving Mueller free rein to do whatever the hell he wants. And whatever happened, by the way, to this so-called collusion turned out to be a witch hunt. And Rod Rosenstein, he should be ashamed of himself. And frankly, he's the same guy that signed the FISA extension against Trump associate Carter Page and then appointed Mueller. Does anyone see that as a conflict of interest? And like we have been saying, Rosenstein needs to go. And also tonight, a brand new poll, 67% of you, the American people, think that a second special counsel should in fact be named to investigate all the disturbing FISA abuses that we have been reporting on and the media has been ignoring. Because you, the American people, understand the severity of this, because it's a massive abuse of power, and that the DOJ and the FBI, they cannot investigate themselves because that is a massive conflict of interest. It's called abuse of power. Now, while the Attorney General Jeff Sessions said he won't be naming a second special counsel, he has appointed Utah prosecutor John Huber since November. We didn't know about it. Good for Jeff Sessions to serve in a similar capacity. Now, while it's not a special counsel, it's a massive development. And as a federal prosecutor, Huber will be able to convene a grand jury, gather evidence, issue subpoenas, have witnesses testify. And that means he'll be able to properly investigate these FISA abuses, the FBI putting the fix in on the Clinton email investigation, kickbacks to the Clinton Foundation, the corrupt Uranium One deal, and, of course, lying to a FISA judge and the phony dossier that she paid for. A major development, and it's just getting started. Another quick point tonight. Jill McCabe, she is the wife of the fired FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe. Well, she has an op-ed in the Washington Post where she's claiming to be setting the record straight. Now, predictably, Jill McCabe excuses the fact that her husband was fired for lying under oath multiple times about a number of issues. And instead, she's blaming President Trump. If the dog bites, the bee stings, if you're feeling sad, and if you have a headache and a hangover, it's Donald Trump's fault. Now, Jill McCabe seems to be downplaying the fact she got over $700,000 in campaign money from key Clinton ally, BFF Terry McAuliffe, and the Virginia Democratic Party when she had a failed state Senate run. Now, state Senate candidates in Virginia, they never get that kind of money. So the McCabes, they can whine all they want in public about what happened, but facts are facts. You can't change that. All right, finally tonight, I have a special message for the abusively biased media that once again is trying to smear me. So yesterday on my radio show, I was making a point about Robert Mueller dividing this country at a level we have not seen in forever, which he undoubtedly is doing and has been doing. And I made reference to it's like a civil war in this country because of his abusively biased team, corrupt Democrats, people that see truth. We're sick and tired of it. And it's dividing those that hate Trump, those that like Donald Trump. Look at the person like Andrew Weissman he appointed. Now, what the media didn't report to you, well, I was talking about a really deep divide that the arrogant Mueller's creating and that Americans are more divided than ever. And I was actually talking about family members, a civil war, and they're going to sit at dinner and they're going to have food fights and they're going to throw mashed potatoes and broccoli at each other at the dinner table. I wasn't talking about a real civil war, and I was very clear. Now, this sent the media into a frenzy, but they quickly ignored everything I said. And they raced to take me out of context, like they always do, claiming, oh, Hannity wants a civil war in America. No, I'm saying we're more divided than ever. And as you know from watching this show, this is what the media does all the time, but I'm not going to sit back and take their crap. We're going to call out the corrupt media in this country. For example, the media lost it over me saying the word civil war. Okay, we went to the archives. They have said it many more times than I have, and we've got the proof.
He is clearly trying to ignite a civil war in this country.
We are in the midst of a cold civil war in this country, a political and cultural civil war.
Tonight we're watching a civil war between mostly Southern senators loyal to the man from Alabama.
The only civil war I see is on Twitter, and that doesn't even really matter.
Governor, you've called this an economic civil war, and I know that's what you're touching on.
In a way, I understand it because we're fighting the last battle of the Civil War.
Oh, nobody cared about them saying it. So the media can't stand the fact, and this is the truth, night after night on this program, well, we are proving them to be complete, total liars and frauds, abusively biased on everything involving Donald Trump. And sadly, they have missed the biggest story of their lifetimes while they've been obsessing over a Trump-Russia collusion conspiracy theory where there's no evidence. And now that the liberal media has been exposed, they're lashing out at people like me. We've been right. It's no wonder there's a new poll from Monmouth University. It's showing that 77% of you, the American people,